Try this again here. Camera's going the wrong way. All right, so you guys, we're going live for the first time today, and it's not for me. We're actually going live for somebody else. So I'm going to pull some cars around. What we're going to do today is basically do some walk around here at the shop. For some reason it put me on the reverse camera, so I guess that's because you can see yourself. Okay, so we're going live today. What we're trying to do is, I'll get the chat on in just a second. We're going to see if we can raise some funds for rider files. It seems like I was talking to him when I was in Vegas, and he was happy. He got his car was running okay, and then about a couple days ago, he mentioned in one of his live streams that his car was pretty much toast, and he started a GoFundMe account. And so what we're going to do is, look, I don't want anybody to stretch themselves. You know, if you can't do it, you know, or don't feel obligated that you need to do it. But if you can, that'd be great, you know. And we're going to see if we can raise enough funds. There's a couple other live streams, a couple other guys that were doing this that also were doing live streams and stuff to try and raise funds to get him a car. So somehow or another, I got to figure out how to get this camera turned around. Maybe I can here. That's how you do it. Okay, so because I got the better camera on now. But yeah, we're gonna see if we can get some funds together for him to get something better. So I'm gonna drive some cars around. I'm gonna bring all the cars out front here, and I'll get this chat up here pretty soon. As soon as I figure out how. I've never done the phone. I did this once. Yeah, I did this once before, so bear with me. But I'm not going to be on the chat, so I don't know who's on here yet. So if you're on here, be patient. Just kind of hang out for a minute. We're going to move some cars around. I'm going to bring some bugs over here in the driveway, and we're going to walk around and hopefully at the same time. Yeah, there was. I was watching the 36 horsepower video. I know. I hate to cut off in the middle of that because that video I think is going to go viral. But you know what? It's always about money. It's got to be about helping people, and that's what I'm about all the time, regardless of money. You know, that's what I'm about 100% of the time. So if money comes from it, that's great. If it doesn't, it's all right. You know, I'm fairly well off as it is. You know, I've been very fortunate. I've worked my butt off for a lot of years, and you know, I'm very fortunate. So, you know, I try to give back when I can, and so anyway, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to move some cars around. I'm hoping guys are going to gather in on the chat, and we're going to see if we can raise. I don't care, you know, if we raise $5, I'll be happy, man. I'll be like stoked. But you know, like I said, don't feel obligated. If you can't do it, don't feel bad. Hang out on the chat. Be happy to see stuff that you guys are interested in. If you want to see particular things in the cars, put that in the notes, and I'll try and work my way through the comments. But like I said, I'm going to be right now, I'm just going to be pulling cars around. So bear with me while the people are coming in. Let me get the green rag top now. So for the first time, we are live. The reason, like I said, to me, it's a good reason. Uh, Again, if guys are just coming in, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at the comments yet, really. But I've just been pulling cars around. Roger Files, he has a Ford Explorer that he uses to go around to different shows, and he expressed that his compression on, like, I don't know, several cylinders is down to like zero, and he's got, and out there in Vegas, he'd love to have a VW, but in the summer it just gets too hot to have one 100% of the time. So he was a VW guy back years ago. I actually met up with him. Very cool guy, very real, very down to earth, and really liked him. So and I've liked him ever since I watched some of his videos. But he right now he's in the need of a car, and if anybody, like I said, if you guys can come up with, I don't know, $5 or $10 or whatever, I think the minimum is $5, and you got to give a tip because it's under GoFundMe. There's a link in the video description below, and yeah, Jimmy Wilkinson was watching the 36 horsepower. I know, and that's a great video, and I encourage you guys to please watch that video and comment on it. But I'm going live, like I said, to help another person who's in need. So that's the main thing. That's more important. Yeah, I'll make probably a bunch of money on that video, and it's a lot of fun to do. It was a great, fun thing, and I'm going to be putting up another video showing the compression on it, because actually it was so I was so freaked out that it started that I actually, and then my memory ran out of my camera. So I was actually so freaked out that it started. I was like, oh my God, this engine started. I was just like so freaked out that what happened is that I just forgot to do the second part, which I was going to show the compression afterwards, because I thought the thing would never start. I honestly, I didn't think it was going to. I thought for sure that thing's not going to fire, but it's really surprised. So I'm going to see if I can get. Okay, we got the chat going here. See what's going on. Yeah, welcome in, guys. Sorry, Jimmy's here. We got. Was the correct color and name for the green bug? I think it's. I really don't know. The green bug. And this is a kind of a, like, we're going to do Q&A at the same time. So if you guys were always wondering about different things, maybe you have different car problems you could talk about, to kind of keep the chat going while we're waiting for those donations. Like I said, don't feel obligated. If you can do it, awesome. If you can't, that's okay. And he'll be okay with that too. He's a really humble guy. He'd be so, in fact, the best part about this, he does not know I'm doing this right now. He has no clue that I'm running a live stream to try and run a fundraiser for him. But I think he's on my bell, so I think he's actually gonna join in here at some point, and he'll be totally stoked. He's just gonna freak out if there's. I would be so happy if we raised what he needs. That would be just like totally awesome. But the car color for the green bug, I think it's a mango. Exactly the same colors in the buses. So if you look, when we match the color, it's just a little bit, I don't know, sometimes it looks more green, sometimes it looks more brown than the color I made. We had a lot of trouble trying to make this color because in one light it would look one way, and then I used a catalyzed base coat for this, and let me see what else. And so what happened is when you go to spray sample it, when it dried, it would change a little bit. So I kept on changing the formula and changing it. And I was burning up all the sample paint that I had, and I just got to the point where I just said, you know what, it's got to be close enough, and I just shot it. So it's a little bit different, And inside you can see it's, I don't know, I think it's a little more white. I don't know. It's not that much different, but I like the way that this ended up, the color of this, even if it's not correct, it just looks better than what's inside even, but it looks cool because it's original inside. And that's what I was trying to keep that original feel of the patina of the car, and I was gonna do spot work, and I couldn't match the color good enough, and it was already like repainted. So it, what's the difference between a spot paint on one panel and then the whole thing getting repainted? So you know, when it was already a repaint. I was spot painting a repaint, so I didn't really. I thought, you know what, I'll just repaint it, and I didn't do like a super show job or anything on this thing. This thing's just like a really kind of a quick. I mean, I think I spent. I'm going to tell you about 3 days on the body work, and then maybe another day on painting, and another two, maybe a day and a half on polishing, and that's it. So I didn't really do a lot of. I mean, this was pretty beat up. This was actually from my original car, the deck lid from my first car in 1980. Oh man, what was that? My first car in 1980 something that I got. Okay, so I see some new stuff coming up. All messages. Okay, now we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, you want to put it on a 72? Yeah, it'd look good on a 72 too. Yeah, that would look really cool on the 72. I've never seen one this color or a late model. So, um, this color, so it looks really good with aluminum, better than it does chrome. So, that's why I went with the original trim pieces and repolished them and then clear coated them. That's why I did that on this car. So yeah, we're going to stay live for quite a while. I don't know how long my battery's going to run, but I didn't get it fully charged before we started. It was just kind of a random thing I decided to do. I've been back and forth with a ride from Jamaica. Wow, that's amazing. It's totally cool. Um, I put this crosshatch wheel trim on this. I got a new video. Darn it, I haven't even uploaded it yet, and I'm dropping the bomb right now. You guys already see it, so that sucks. But I have a brand new video that I'm gonna upload. I was kind of gelling and kind of going, well, I kind of need this motor thing to run for a little bit because I think that particular topic is pretty hot. First starts and stuff like that. But I thought about this and I thought he's not going to make it very long on that engine, so I better do something now if I can. So there is a link on there, and I don't know if has anybody tried it yet. I just wondered if it works. That's all. Even if you're not going to contribute, that's okay. I don't know who's any. It even does super chats on here. I don't know. Top chat. Let's see. I don't know if anybody's tried it yet. I'm not even sure. It says we got 11 people on right now. I don't know how to even look at the list. Let me see if there's a way I can do that. This is a 65 sunroof. I still, the guy, he's been bugging me about calling him about this thing, and I just haven't had time to do it. And I go to find his card, and it's I can't find it right now. So I'm sure I'll sell this car really quickly, not in a giant hurry. I just don't have the space for everything. So I've got the camper still. I haven't got it out yet. I might bring that out. Yeah. Okay, the links does seem to work good. That's good to know, because I want him to be shocked. He has no clue, absolutely no clue that I'm doing this. In fact, I didn't even know I had a clue I'm going to do it. I did some contributions, and I've done some lives. I did some on his channel. I've done some super chats. The super chats, just so you guys know, you don't have to do those, but the YouTube does take 30% of them, and so it's kind of a drag. We were talking about that on the phone the other day. I had to have his phone number and everything. We kind of met up in Vegas when I was out there doing some work. Corpus Christi, Texas. Jimmy Wilkinson. There he is. Jimmy's on live. See a lot of comments from Jimmy. Love them. They're hilarious, dude. Some of your stuff just, I'll be rolling in my seat, dude, just reading your comments sometimes. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, we'll doing the cars right now, and then we'll do some talking here a little bit. But if you guys have any questions, be sure to bring those up. Like if you have something that I've been trying to explain on your car, it's hard for me to write it all down, you know, and make sure it gets conveyed to you guys the right way. So the mini car show. That 65, yeah, it does. It's, you know what, the 65 sunroof, I I have the same engine in this car and in that car. They're like the same versions of the 40 horse. 40 horse, 1384 kit, 1600 rockers. Man, you got to shim the rockers though, so you got to remember that. You can't just bolt them on. You're gonna have to either shim them. On this one, I think I actually trimmed the. We took out the what they call push rods, and we actually trimmed them. Took the ends off of them, trimmed them, and put them back on. It's a little trickier to do, but that's how we did this one. And then I think that one I shimmed them because it's a little easier. Doesn't work quite as good, but it does work. Yeah, that thing, this one here, I was going up like in the 36 horse, and I will go up the same hill, and I have to downshift to third. But remember, the gearing is 0.79 fourth, and on this one, and it's a 0.89 fourth on this, with the same. It's 437 gears. 437 gears on both these are the same, but that was a 0.79 fourth. That's a 0.89. So it's got a little more gear in it, a little lower gears in these two than in that one. So, but when you put a 36 horse stock with the same transmission and a 40 horse with the same transmission, they're almost identical in power. That's why a lot of people go, oh, my 36 is really, really slow. Well, put a 40 in the same trans and it'll be about the same. But when you put the 1384 kit on it, it comes alive. The thing just, and the rockers. In fact, I did that one without the rockers first, and then I drove it and I was like, wow, it still feels like a 40 horse. Then I put the rockers on, and it really, really makes a difference. So I would highly recommend that if you're going to do yours, that you put the rockers on, or if you got it all apart, you know, put some cam bearings in it and put the performance cam in. So really helps. Really helps. I'm gonna put this phone down on my magnetic stand here, so I can just relax for a second. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. You know what? I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm just trying to do what I can do. Help another YouTuber. He's a full-time YouTuber, and you know, he really doesn't make it. I mean, you figure the car shows. I mean, he has a lot of viewers. He has 20,000 subscribers, but I think we were talking, and I think my channel actually makes more than his. It's because I have a lot of the how-to videos. The Volkswagen stuff doesn't do very much. It really doesn't. The how-to videos that I do on cars, actually, believe it or not, after about 6 months, they actually do way better than anything else. But the Volkswagen stuff, so that's what I do. You know, I like doing Volkswagen bugs, you know, and buses and stuff. So, you know, I like to do that. So I put that on there. I don't care. It's not about the money, you know, it's about what I enjoy, you know, and sharing that. And there's a lot of other people who enjoy it too. So I still got my surfboard sitting in here from the last show in the van. So yeah, I got the surfboard still in here. Just went to I haven't been out in this thing, and on the way back I noticed that brake pedal was fading just a little bit. It was just starting to, but I haven't noticed any wheel leaks yet. So a little bit concerned about, before I take those wheels off, take a look at those brakes and make sure that the wheel cylinders are starting to go. Those factory wheel cylinders, those repop wheel cylinders are not very good. That's why it's really, if you go with the disc brakes, it becomes a lot better for maintenance, because the caliper pistons don't tend to leak. Wheel cylinders do, and it's just more reliable. It's just a better stopping too. Let's see if there's any new comments. I don't know. It doesn't show them all the time, so I don't know. Still, I don't know. There's quite a few guys that commented. I might have not answered them. I know Jimmy was watching the 36 horse. He might go back to that, and that's okay. That's a really funny video. It's really cool. I was just tripping out, man. You guys got to see the whole thing. Watch the entire video. And it's kind of suspenseful, actually, because I honestly didn't. I was like, everything tells you nope. Everything you do, you try one thing, you're like, oh no, this thing's not gonna run, and then what happens. I didn't even use any ether at all, nothing. That was all carb spray. So ether, that's a little bit of a cheater way to do it, and that does help. So yeah, we got Corpus Christi. We got to go down to the bottom of the chat. See. Oh, got to get lunch in that bus. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a... Oh, yeah. Cool. You just saw the 657 engine. That thing's amazing. We can go over and look at that. I'm going to actually put it back on the stand. Hopefully I won't lose you guys. I got a really good Wi-Fi setup. These really help a lot with the shade too. But got a really good, expensive Wi-Fi setup. But I might lose signal over here. We'll just restart it if I do. Here's the engine sitting here. We might put this on again and run a compression test, because I was gonna do that originally. I had planned on doing the second compression test after we ran it, but what happened is I was so surprised that the engine started that I actually I really couldn't believe that it was going to run. I just thought, no, this thing is just dead, and the exhaust is just totally wasted. I really couldn't tell whether it was running on all four, but I think it was, because after I turned off the video and I kind of ran out of memory at the same time, what happened is I turned the video off, ran out of memory, and then I kind of forgot about putting the other part of the video on. And but when I ran out of memory, we were running the engine for a while, and I didn't know it was out. Yeah, you're right. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna put that on there, the compression numbers. But what happened is the camera ran out of memory, and then and right at the time it ran out of memory, I was running it for a while later, and when we revved it up, I was hitting the gas, and it was like jumping off the engine stand. It was like whop whop, running off the engine stand. So I'll probably run another video on that, so stay tuned for that one. But it was actually just jumping off the engine stand, and it was like I was just like tripping out, because I was like, this thing, I thought it was dead. I thought the engine was not going to make it. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm doing this today for Rider Files. Hopefully, if we can raise a few bucks for them to help them out. It really sucks when you don't have a lot of money and you got a really major car problem and your main business is to go drive around to go to shows for YouTube, because that's really what he does for a living. So I'll put that thing down for a second, get my hands freed up. Yeah, if we could just anyway, but if you, like I said, if I don't want anybody to put themselves out, I live in within my means. I don't buy anything I can't afford. You know, and I don't expect anybody else to do it either. I would donate probably quite a bit more right now, but my problem is the customers are so slow on paying that I need to make sure I have enough capital to do the next job. I have a big job coming up next month, and you know it runs up a lot of my capital, so I got to be really careful myself. So otherwise, I would probably donate a lot more on his vehicle just to help him out. Let's see what I missed a couple things here. Let me see. Look to see the compression test. Yeah, we're going to be doing that. Single carb or dual carbs. These motors are small. Oh, okay, it fades away as soon as I get a chance to read it. uh, look, these so small, but so cool. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're amazing. VW engines for the era they were in. Uh, you know what got me really hooked on these things back in the 80s is during even that time the technology was so far advanced compared to everything else even back then, you know, and they were made what 30 years or more before that, you know, they were making those cars, and the only thing they just couldn't do, they just couldn't make, well, they could, they could have. Everybody goes, well, they couldn't make emissions. Well, they could have. Porsches make emissions, but the cost um, to make it economically, you know, an economic car would be um, it wouldn't be very economical as far as buying it. So it would probably, you know, they had to weigh it out. So they figured out that I think that the Rabbit, which was a horrible car in the beginning, that they that that was the way to go, because they could make it inexpensive and still make it work. And now it took them this long. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't touch a VW between the water cooled VW between 1975 and 19 2005. I mean, I bought a 2006 and I was crossing my fingers, and that's when I realized that they had actually upgraded their engineering quite a bit. That's kind of what got me back into it. Ah, there he is. Rotter Files, we got it. No, is that Rotter Files? I can't see. No, it's somebody else. Ah, no, it's oh, it's Tony Bolton. I can't barely see it. Um, it's weird. I wish I could turn up the bright on this screen. I can I can barely see as it is. I need to have my reading glasses on. Oh, do you daily drive yours? Well, oh yeah. No, I do drive the cars, but I even with a daily driver is kind of a you know primary daily driver. No, um, I would not drive one of these as a primary daily driver, because then if it was my only car, then you know I'd be disrespecting the car, because what happens is if you're in a rush in California freeways, you know, and you've got to go somewhere, and you know I can't live around my car. And I'm going to explain this. I have a friend of mine who is a daily driver. He uses one as a daily driver all the time, but his entire life revolves around his car. And I'm going to kind of explain that. What he does is, like, if he's going to Arizona, he leaves at 9 at night. You know, he won't drive it during the day. Um, if he's self-employed, if it's a really bad weather day, and he'll tell the customer, hey, you got to wait till tomorrow. You know, if you have a regular life where you need to be at work on time and you need to um, do normal everyday things like where you're in a hurry and that, so it's really sometimes not a good idea to be a daily driver. And that's when you need to think about the car. You know, if you think about it from the car standpoint, you know, is it really good for you to be in a rush, weaving in and out of traffic to get somewhere, um, just because you want to be drive it as a daily driver? You know, it's probably not. So that's, you know, a lot of people don't like that when I say that, but you know, that's how I really feel about it. But I do drive them often. I'm not gonna say daily. I probably drive them at least one of the cars every other day. Um, and I'm always going to shows and stuff. Yes, they all do now. I just got the sun visors for this one. I didn't have them in it. I had them sitting there, but I'm missing the little. He was out of the. He was out of the little clips in the middle when I was over there. So if I see him next time, I'll pick some up. The little clips that hold them in place, but all of them have sun visors. What's really cool, I'll tell you about sun visors real quick. Some of you guys, there's something very interesting on the green bug about the sun visors. If you never caught the video on that, these are original. And this car was all original, pretty much. I mean, every panel except for this fender was original for this car. This fender, and I think maybe one of the rear ones, one of the tail lights, but the deck lid was original. Well, look at this. This is the 60 rag. Okay, what's missing right here? Just no sun visor on the passenger side. Factory blank. That's a factory blank right there. So this car did not come with a passenger side. I got a little bit of buffering going on. Hopefully you got all that. But I've never seen, that I recall, another car with a blank like that. Kind of weird. So that's kind of neat. About sun visors. Good question. These are cool. I was thinking about getting a set for here. Kind of pricey. These were expensive. You could probably buy a set of wheels for what I pay for those things. Like, I just put the set on here and I haven't uploaded the video. I have a video that needs to be uploaded for this car. It's actually pretty neat. It's got a little bit of a storyline in it and stuff. Because I just got it out. I haven't driven it in a while. And I did. Some of you guys might not watch that video, and that's okay. I did get the radio blank finally. Right, so we're looking here. Yeah, I'd be stoked. I should grab the laptop and then I can watch a couple other things real quick. Might be able to see things a little better on that. Oh yeah, okay. Still. Yeah, I'm still selling the caddy. We're gonna be bringing it around here. We're gonna do a whole bunch of videos on it. It's kind of next right now, but I am gonna be working really busy for like a month or two, coming up in the next 2 weeks. And when I get to it, then I'm gonna use my my inflatable spray booth. Probably do a video in there. A couple of different things I'm gonna do with that. And I'm going to be putting, I have the original, I have the paint already for it. I have the original color. You know, I'm just going to sand it down, fix all the rest of it, fix all the bodywork right, and then make it nice because the motor really runs good. All right, somebody signing out, looks like. Oh, it's okay. It's funny, I can't read them fast enough. Uh, I'm haven't got any Carmen Gias right now. I've thought about it, but it's kind of a specialized thing. So I'm not probably going to do one unless I find a low light. If I found a low light Gia, I would have to do it. So yeah, that would convince me. A low light Gia project would put me in the game. Shift linkage on the caddy, no. The shift linkage is not fixed yet. There is a linkage kit, and I found it. A guy showed me a show, and that show might be coming up again pretty soon. He probably would be there. It's in Corona. They have a dealership closeout. I don't know if they're going to do it this year or not. I haven't seen it on the Samba. I don't know if anybody else has. But yeah, let me do something real quick. I'm gonna put you guys, hang out for a minute. You know, keep the chat rolling. I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna keep this on. And I'm just gonna grab my laptop real quick, and I want to just check some things real quick while we're on this. I'll sign out for a second. Be right back. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, so let's see who's on. Anybody else new? We got 15 on right now, 16. We're hovering. I'm right over here just checking some stuff real quick. Yeah, I'll be looking at those chats here in a second. I'll catch up with you guys. Yeah, I really shouldn't have done this in the middle of the other video, the engine video. I'm just gonna check here. Hold on. Checking a couple things here. It's all right. We're not. Yeah, even after this video is off live, um, even after we're off live, some people may watch it and they may see what we're trying to do. And if, like I said, there's people who can contribute. I think most of my audience though is pretty low budget, people, and that's cool, And I don't expect anybody to stretch themselves. I don't want anybody to do that. I don't live like that myself. So let's see what's new on the chat here. Where did you love the VW Star? Oh, this is a funny story. You guys, I was actually going to put this on my stories, but that's okay. It's a good time right now. If somebody gets this far through the live chat, they will trip out on the story. What got me into VWs starting? Well, first of all, they were cheap, okay, and like my my uncle. Okay, my mom is from, and this some of you guys watch my channel. You see me comment a lot about the guys back east, and this is gonna tie this all together for you guys. So, um, the guys back east, like Musty One, 5150 MXVW, uh, what's his name? 1967. What's his name? VW Nut. Some of those guys back east, and this is so trippy. Okay, one of one of the things my grandparents, my mom's side grandparents, were from New England. Okay, and my dad was from California, and my uncle was from New England. He came out to California, and what he did, he came out to California because he was sick and tired of the cold, and he came out here because we wanted to check it out, and he ended up getting married. He talked my mom, who was his closest sibling, into coming out because she'd just get in a car accident with her car in the snow, and so she decided to come out, and he talked her into it. She came out. She says, "Hey, we have family out here. You can come out, check it out." So they ended up getting married, with my dad, and then so every 4 years, we used to have to travel back and forth to New England to see my grandmother in Maine. And if you've watched some of my videos, you might have seen Robert's. I think I might have one just on Robert's VW and Robert's car. And he actually was talking about Old Orchard Beach, Maine. And so he was telling me something about, he was saying about Old Orchard Beach. I go, dude, Old Orchard Beach. I said, my grandmother's from Ocean Park. He goes, she's from the park? I don't know how the guys talk back like they say that. I mean, he goes, she's from the park? Really? I said, yeah, we used to travel back and forth. We'd stay there a week or so at a time. And so, you know, I traveled the whole United States so many times when I was a kid, that I was always, back there. So we were talking about the city. I said, yeah, not many people would even know where that is. And so we're talking about Ocean Park, Maine, and um, so we were talking about that, but that was just the weirdest thing. But what I was going to get to is my cousin came out from, so I was really close with my aunt and uncle, almost as close as with my parents. Okay, and my aunt and uncle both had a 71 deluxe microbus, or a bus, 71 bus, and they had a 69 bug, and that was pretty much their cars. And they had those. They had other ones came and went. Of course, they had a Dodge Maxi van, and they realized how much terrible the gas mileage was. That's when they got the VW bus after that. But my cousin and I used to go drive around the bugs even then. Okay, but my other cousin came from New England. He came out, and he came from back east, and they love VWs. A lot of them love VWs back east, and so he came out and he goes, "Oh, I want to get myself a Volkswagen." So he, I'll get to those messages in a second. He came out. And I got a 62 bug. It was a piece of junk. He used to drive it back from Riverside to Santa Barbara where he lived. And so he was living out in Santa Barbara for a while, and he was driving back and forth, and I knew the car ran good. So I said, he said, well, I'm going to sell it. I said, well, how much? It's $300. I said, done. I want it. And I just got my check, and I bought that first VW for $300. So, and it was a 62, and it was kind of rusty to me. Right now, I would think, oh my God, that thing's like perfect. Wouldn't do a thing to it other than just, um, pull off the fenders and stuff, because the fenders were really wrinkled up and stuff like that. Do a little bit of body work to it, fix it. But back then, I thought, oh my God. So I found a 58 body, put it on it, and that was my daily driver for many years. So anyway, but that's kind of what got me into it. And my family's very connected to England. So that's why I really connect with those guys back there. A lot of fun we have on YouTube, little rivalries and different things. But You have a 69 bug. Yeah, I drove one of those things. We used to slide corners in it. We used to go around in the 69 bug, and before they ever knew what drifting was, that was a drift car. It was a 69 bug with an 1835 single port, and it had you could just slam the clutch out with and pitch it sideways, and it would slide. That's what we did every day, every day. And how did we ever get not get caught? I don't know. So we used to call it radicals. That was before they um, had a name drifting. So um, okay. Late model try fab section still available. Who's this? Oh, wait a minute. I know who that is. Carmen Gia brakes. Are the Carmen Gia stuff? I don't know that much about Gias. I think they're the same, but I'm not sure. I'm they're a whole new animal, and that's one of the reasons that I never really built one because it's almost like you got to do those all the time. Okay, I can barely read this because it's weird. I have to put it in the right place. It's kind of see through, and when I put it in the right place in the car, I can see it better than the other. It's weird with these chat things. Uh, you got plenty of steel. It's an inch or two gap. Well, I can't remember what you were talking about, but I'll get back to that. I can replace a primer surface with the okay. Can I replace primer surfaced with epoxy primer? Yeah. Can you go over primer again with that it has epoxy primer? Yeah, epoxy primer is a great base. I don't usually use it only because I'm immediately painting stuff afterwards. If you want to use epoxy primer, that's great. You don't have to use it. The reason people use it is because if you're leaving your project anywhere where it can get rusty, it's absolutely great to use. It does okay. Can I replace primer surface with epoxy filler primer? Yeah, you can. You can just go over that with primer. Um, like I said, I usually use PCL, has one that's a epoxy primer and sealer. Christopher Lopez, he knows the answer to your question. 68 later has disc brakes. He's got the answer. He knows Volkswagen's inside and out, upside down. In fact, he knows them so well he doesn't want to work on them anymore. What about the later bugs? Do you like or dislike? I just don't do the later bugs. I like the later bugs, but I don't normally do them because I don't usually end up equitable. I don't like to build something and be upside down in it. And that for that reason, I don't normally build the late models. Because, let's say like this car here, I bought it as a project and to do some YouTube videos on, and also hopefully to make a couple dollars on it. I really don't make much. People think I make money on it. It's about $10 an hour, if I'm lucky. So, but I don't want to lose that $10 an hour. I'd rather, get my money back. But yeah, totally dig. Uh, I really like I like 68 to 71 bugs. Anything later than that, like the fenders get kind of weird, and then they have the round taillights. Wasn't a big fan of that stuff. Like the 70, I think it's 72 or 73 when they changed to that. I think it's 73 actually. So maybe 72. But the late ones, if I do them, and every time I've done one, and I've done them before, I end up losing money. So that's why I don't normally do them. When it stops leaking oil, it's usually out. Yep, that's true. Yeah, I actually none of mine leak. We were pretty crazy about that. Actually, maybe one does. I think the camper leak's pretty good. 67 micro deluxe microbus. Good, good bus. Wow. Ooh, it's doing something different. Okay, what do you think about special editions they brought? Are they worth doing? The special editions. Oh, you mean like the GTV? Is that what you're talking about? The GTV? That's the only ones that I know of that were special editions. But they weren't really Volkswagen. I think that wasn't that an MP. Oh, jeans and stuff like that. It's hard for me to see who the chat name is, so it's weird. I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's my phone. It's externally lubricated. Chris knows. He's the answer man. I don't know how to do moderator. He should be on there for moderator. Stock condition always looks best. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Back in years ago, I would lower my car and I had them, you know, and then like this car we lower, you can see the difference in profile. The other one, it's just 2.5 inches lowered in the front, and then what they call a half notch in the rear, and that's about an inch and a half in the rear. It's really hard to do that inch and a half lowering. Really difficult to do. It takes a lot of time. It took like, maybe Chris can answer how long did it take. I don't even know. It took, I think, all day to lower the back. And this is stock height here. It's kind of skying in the front. That's the way they came. Lower beam of mine. It took. Weird. I can't. As soon as I get it up, it took straight off and went. Yeah. No, the lowered beam is, if you do it, I don't know, you can do Prado camp out. Am I going to go? Can't. I'm going to be working. So I don't know. If I go, it'll be such last minute. It is possible, but it's like very unlikely. Let me put it that way. Last year I showed up at El Prado. I got home at like 11 at night from Northern California, and I showed up at El Prado just late and barely got there. But I definitely won't be at the camp out. I won't be able to. Got work issues. So, yes, definitely original parts. So, a lot of people want to get new stuff, and it's been this way for years. Unless you could go to the dealer and buy new stuff, which I did back in the 80s. We used to be able to just go, if you knew the part number, you could go into the dealer in the 80s, and you could actually get a brand new part, and they had them in stock, but they didn't have them in the microfiche. They couldn't look it up. So you had to know the part numbers you wanted, and you could go into the dealer, and you could actually buy brand new parts. One of the guys in our meetup group was a parts manager at one of the shops I used to go to. And it's weird, I really didn't know him then. I used to go to him, but I didn't know him. So it's weird, but we're buddies now. So but it's just strange. But yeah, you used to be able to go original parts. Like this car here, these are dealer stamped original door rubber, and one of these I think I have German. Let me see. I think this one I have German, and totally different. It's German, yeah. I think these are German. And they feel kind of similar, but not exactly the same. So even the German stuff that's new now, it's not really like the German stuff we used to get, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Yeah, the green bug is, yeah, you're right, Chris. He knows. Yeah. Everything on all these, I think, are any of these aftermarket bumpers? I don't think. Well, yeah, this one is. We kind of saved a lot of the original parts that were on this car because even these, there's a lot of really expensive parts on this. The thing that was neat about this is something that's amazing. Look at this turn signal. That's a Hella original. This is on the blue car. This rubber with the rubber actually is stamped Hella. So these are 100% original. This is original chrome. And it was in the car when I bought it. When I bought the car from the guy up in the mountains, guys were, it's such a funny story. And I saw it on Craigslist. The guy had a whole bunch of pictures on it, and it was really beat up looking. But the thing I always remember, I tell you guys, count the parts. Condition isn't as important as how many of the original, how much of the parts are still there. If you go and look for something and you're looking for a project, you look at how complete it is first, and then go to condition. Because if you go to if you're looking at if you're not looking at all the parts and you're looking at condition and it's missing half the parts, you're going to be in so much money and then so many different shows trying to find those parts. And then some of those parts you're going to want original, like we were talking about a second ago about getting original parts. I try to get as many original stuff as I can. And NOS has almost disappeared. There's very few NOS parts available. The next best thing is Wolfberg West. You guys know that, I'm sure. Like these are aftermarket on this car. I have some original glass for it, but it doesn't really matter. Those are aftermarket. These are original. You see how pitted up they are. And I'm not saying what these are, but they have that, so just guess. I'm not going to say. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you guys are paying bucks in the UK for parts. Big time. Yeah, I buy that sheet metal. Oh my God. Those guys are just insane. Where do they come up with these prices? Again, if anybody's new in the chat, if we're trying to, if you guys, I'm not trying to push anybody's buttons. I don't want to get anybody in debt. But if you guys want to contribute something to Rotter Files, he's trying to buy a car. He doesn't have enough cash. His car is in bad shape. It's about to die. And he's just another YouTuber. He's a full-time YouTuber on a very part-time income. And I think, if anybody can contribute, I did a little bit, but I can't do that much right now because then again, like I said, my main thing is I have to have capital for the work I do. And, I have to just watch because they tend to pay me really late. And, I'd probably do quite a bit more. But I just saw he's in a terrible situation. And he's a really nice guy. Met him in person, super nice, super real. You watch his videos on his channel. If you watch him at all, you'll see that he's very much the same in person as he is on his YouTube. He's actually a really super nice guy, and I was surprised. I wasn't really surprised, but I was actually enlightened. Let me put it that way. Really nice guy and stuff. So I have a link on there. If you can, if you can't, it doesn't matter. We're doing whatever we can do if we can do something, and if not, that's okay. I mean, if it's a minimum, I think it's $5. You have to do 6 because it's a GoFundMe charges their, they don't charge it, but they have a mandatory tip. So anyway, but yeah. Oh yeah, they're really expensive. I couldn't imagine in the UK. Man, you guys get just bent over on parts. I mean, and you're talking about 2,000 pounds. You're talking about, so that's like 3 grand. And like I said, I had the video building a bug on a budget, and that video's gone pretty big. And I've got some people think, oh no, you can get it painted for less than 10 grand. It's like, where? Yeah, okay, what guy's backyard, or like uh, some little rinky-dink shop that it's going to be sitting in the back room forever and never looked at. Where are you going to get it done? And then I got guys at shows go, yeah, man, I said, man, I got my car in paint. And I go, well, what's the deal? And they go, man, it's been there like 2 years. I'm like, okay, well, dude, what are you investing in a paint job? Well, the guy's doing it for 3,500. And I go, well, there you go. He's gonna, that thing's so far in the back burner, dude. He's losing money on it, so he's not gonna do it. It's gonna be, you're gonna be lucky if you get it back. It's so, it's like, yeah, good paint job, 6 to 8. Yeah, there you go. That's about the same. That's about 10 to 15 grand American. Yeah, yeah, it's about that. U.S. dollars. Yeah, in the UK, that's real because it's the man hours. What you're paying for is all the man hours for a really nice. I'm talking about a really nice paint job, and you can go to Mako and get it done. It's kind of a cheap thing. They do, and they have really really cheap paint jobs, but they're really really bad if you get a really cheap one. Like my neighbor, he has car painted at Mako, and he goes, yeah. I said, well, he says, yeah, they wanted 2 grand. And I'm like, yeah, and he goes, and it was just like to do a spray and pray, and he goes out and so he goes, yeah, give me the $300 job, and he looks at it and he shows me, he goes, well, is that worth? I go, dude, that's totally worth $300. You got it painted. The paint's worth that. Masking tape and paper and paint is more than $300. So I don't know. He got a crappy paint job, and he was kind of, yeah. There you go. That's what I did. That's how I started. Back years ago, I had my bug, and I was in high school. In high school, where I learned my automotive background and all that stuff was, I started out in high school. I'm 54 now, so you can remember I've got a few years on the ticker. So in high school, I started in ninth grade. I went to this with this class, okay, and the teacher, Mr. Love, says, hey, and he was into VWs, by the way. He was into VWs. So I learned right from the get-go. I started out VW, been doing my whole life. So he said to me, he says, in this one class, it was an intro class, like you went to auto shop, metal shop, wood shop, and you went to all these different trade shops to just learn the basics. He says, in my class, if you get an A in this class, then you can skip intro to automotive, and next semester, the second year of ninth grade, which you normally couldn't get into that first class until 10th grade, okay, you will be able to go eligible to go into auto 2, okay, which is the second level of auto. I said to him straight to his face, I said, I am getting an A. I said, I guarantee you I'm getting an A. And he says, well, he always went by your last name. But he says, you're going to get you. He says, hey, he says, show me. So I said, you got it. Into that class, I got an A. I got straight A's through that class. There wasn't no way I was getting a B. I wanted to learn automotive because my parents didn't know how to fix anything. They didn't know anything about cars. And I was frustrated with that, So I was like, somebody in this family's got to know something, and it's going to be me. So I finished that class. I got an A, and then second semester as a ninth grader, freshman we call them, Uh, it, I was in the second level of automotive, and then this 10th grade, I had 2 periods. 11th grade, I had like 3 periods, and 12th grade, I had 3 periods because I had a TA class. So I spent a lot of time in the automotive. So by the time I was 18, by the time I got out of high school, I already had, enough experience that I could get a job. Um, so right away, I got a job as a body man at a little body shop and body and paint, and that's where I started doing that. And that's that. So not many guys that age have that experience. And then by the time I was 20, I was a painter in a body shop, and I just realized that it's a lot of responsibility. It's you run the whole shop. The painter, everything revolves around the painter. If the painter's no good, the body shop's no good. I mean, they're just at you on every little thing, make sure your color blends right, make sure everything matches. And I was having, I was in a custom shop for a couple of years. I love that. I was doing custom paint, graphics, and all kinds of stuff, lettering. I'm going to be doing some of those things on videos. I haven't even done that stuff yet. So, but I was I was doing all that stuff, and then I got into the body shop, and I realized, this is really stressful. This is really seriously stressful, and I just decided that I was going to do something else. So that's that story. Sorry, guys, I kind of got behind in the chat there. Baja bugs, yeah, I've done a few of those. My sister had one, built one for her back years ago. She had it as a daily driver back in the 80s, and she drove all over the state of California in it. That's how reliable it was. Yeah, definitely get your own stuff, learn how to do your body work and paint yourself. Yeah, 75 Baja. Yeah, that'd be a good car to Baja. I'm all for doing a 75 Baja. That would be fiberglass kit. The fiberglass kits when I was younger were $15. $15. Now I don't know what they are. You can find, if you can even find one at a show, they're insane. Let's take a look. Let me get my chair. Hanging out, see what we can do. If we can do anything, help our router out files. If not, it's great to answer questions for you guys. We may do this again. Uh, it's just something to do. I just thought I'd bring all the cards out and then just kick it, man. It's Saturday, chilling. Let's see here. Okay, what? Did I get rid of? Oh, the earwigs. Yeah, I think we sprayed some stuff in there, maybe some carb cleaner back up in there, and then just like took the blower and just blew them all out of the shop, and they're gone. They went into some dirt somewhere, and they were looking big, man. I was like going, man, those earwigs were so big looking. I was thinking, man, they were like crabs or something coming out of that thing. I was like, God, they must have been in there for years. I don't know how they live like that. And the engine wasn't even in the dirt or anything. It was just sitting in the back there. I think they came with the car. You know, car was from, was it Illinois or Indiana? No, I think it was Illinois. They had license plates on it. And he kept them. I should have called up Eric about that and said, "Man, dude, you kept my license plate." "Oh no, those were mine." No, he's a really cool guy. Eric from Second Street Scooters in Phoenix. That's where we got the car from, and he's like a super nice guy. All right, see you, Chris. 50s, yes, I have. I had an oval window. Haven't had any splits. I had a 57 oval. My bus was a 57 as well. Planning to buy a splitty. Would you recommend? Oh yeah, yeah. I would say yeah. If you can get one from the U.S., I mean it. I don't know. I don't know what they cost to ship over there, but I had a bunch of German guys when I had one for sale over here looking at mine, and they didn't want to give me my price. So I said, no, it's all right. They wanted to. Yeah, they're probably really rusty over there too. 8,000 pounds. My God, that's probably 15,000 pounds for a. Yeah, I think you could probably do better. I think it probably cost about 4 grand. I imagine to have it shipped over. I don't know what the stupid government gets out of that though. I don't know. They. I don't know if you guys have a huge like import tax on that. Yeah, 8,000 pounds would be a lot to pay for a project. Yeah. Oh yeah, the musty ones. Oh my God. Oh, I commented on that. Did you see my comment? Dude, I was like, okay, the ones that he cuts the front end off that 13 window. I was just like, oh my God, dude, I could totally save that van. I was looking at that going, well, what are you doing cutting the front end off that thing? They cut the front end off that van and just start cutting the bumpers off. And I'm like, going, oh my God, you guys are killing me. I guess he just did that just to piss us off. No, he's pretty good guy. That's what I hear from the other tubers that I actually have emails for some of the guys back east. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Minnesota. Oh yeah, ones from Minnesota. Ooh, they can be pretty bad. I've seen some bad ones. I was up there in your neck a little while back. I was in where was that? Oh, it's that big city there, St. Paul, Minneapolis. When it was just when the mud was coming on. Yeah, yeah. The UK's bad, just like Canada. It's like very similar to Canadian rust buckets. My wife's from Toronto. Lori is from Toronto, so she we go there all the time, and I see a lot of rust up there, man. Yeah, so there's a lot of scrap stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. There's probably more parts here than there might be over there. I don't know. I think what happened in Germany is they got rid of a lot of the VWs because they couldn't meet inspection, and yeah, just about. You're right. Wolfsburg does sell a lot of stuff, and Tony's working on a lot of another more stuff. I talk to him every once in a while. Minnesota. Minnesota. Chris says this came from Minnesota. That's what it was. Oh yeah, this came from Minnesota. I thought it was Indiana, but I guess it was Minnesota. So that usually Minnesota. I'm surprised that it ran as long as it did. I mean, that's like that. You might as well say the UK, except for the UK, you get more rust on the top because you're surrounded by water, so all the salt in the air lands on the top of things. I imagine that's probably what you guys run into. I've seen that with different climates. Like here, if you get one from Hawaii, it's like that, or one from the states. If you get it from really near the water, a lot of Washington cars are like that, rusty on the top. VIN tags. Oh yeah, they're way high here. You notice mine are not registered in California. Hmm. Yeah, VIN tags in California for a classic car are about 130 or 140 a year. Arizona, $50. So yeah, they're in storage in Arizona right now. What state is this? Oh yeah, I forgot to say this is Arizona right here in storage. No, you can have a car that's registered out of state, and it's only driven in the state 75%, 25% of the time. It's legal to do. But it's a real gray area. A lot of people don't know about that, but there's a gray area there. But I'm not saying that these things are in California. They're typically 75% of the time in storage in Arizona. What's that? Large. Funny, I have to touch the messages to get them to stay. Large wagons get very close. You're driving. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I get it. So many people when I'm driving the classics. It's like people do not respect them, and especially the old bugs with the small tail lights. I get tailgated all the time, and I've had people just about rear end me. That's why I put the 12-volt turn signals on this one and put the little inverter system in, and then put 12-volt turn tail lights and turn signals in the back, because I've almost gotten rear ended a couple times, and that. Okay, all right, man. See you, Ivor. I knew he was cruising, man. Thanks for stopping by. We placed front clip. Well, I have a chat, so I have to do this. Okay. Yeah, the body tags. Somebody reproduces those. This car is missing a body tag too in the front. So yeah, it's not actually the VIN plate. The VIN plate's actually under the seat on the frame. And a lot of people get that confused. That's called that's a body tag. Um, and I don't know if some states require it, but most of the places I know of, they don't require you to have the body tag for registration. But um, if you look on the Samba, I think somebody is reproducing those, and the something about the digits are just one of the little corners of them isn't quite exactly the same, but some expert might, some guy who is a VW expert would know. But I can tell you right now, I doubt the DMV and even the Highway Patrol would even know, because these older cars, they just typically, they don't really give a rip about, except in Texas maybe. I heard they won't even allow what's it called? One of the yeah, one of the guys on VW Life over there in Texas, who's got a great channel. Oh my God, they're like professional. Man, their videos look amazing. They they were saying that that dune buggies aren't allowed over there. So there's a lot of dune buggies that aren't allowed. So that's kind of sucks. They actually won't renew. If you've already got one registered, you go to renew your registration, they won't allow it. Yeah, my battery's going to run out of the phone here pretty soon, so I might just go ahead and sign out now. We've been on an hour and 20, so I'm hoping that we might get some other people that come by, after the live chat maybe, and actually watch some of this, and find, it might have a few bucks laying this side, and throw a little money in the kitty for uh, Router File's car. He might be just stoked. He's gonna wonder. He hasn't come on here yet. Has anybody seen him? I haven't seen him on. Yeah, I haven't seen him on here yet. So he's probably busy doing it. He's probably doing a live stream himself. I think he had said there was 3 shows over there today. But he'd be tripping out. He'd be tripping out. He comes by the channel. He's gonna see this. He's gonna go, what? Well, we're trying. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Plus, we got some good questions answered. A lot of guys, came by, and thank you guys for coming, and appreciate everybody who's subscribed to the channel, even the guys who just came by for a visit. Really appreciate all the watch time. People who come by and watch the videos, and hopefully, I hope I can get everybody to comment on stuff. Put the like button. I see got 10 of them so far in this video. But hit the like button on a bunch of videos as you come by. It does help the videos get found. So if there's guys looking for repairs and stuff like that, stuff to ideas or whatever, then they can find those videos easier if they have likes and comments. It really helps. All right, so I'm going to sign out here, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. And please like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to come by and comment on things. I love to answer them and like to hear from you guys, especially the same ones. A lot of you guys, same guys that have been on the chat here, are the ones who comment a lot, and I like to answer those questions and help you guys out. All right, talk to you in the next video.